This is the Tyler and Eli Fantasy Football Tips Podcast, Season 2, Episode 8, Week 1. Eli, we are finally here. I am your co-host, Tyler Boloski. Our host tonight is Eli Boloski. Eli, once again, it is Week 1. Football is finally here. What do you think about that, bud?
I can't wait. It's awesome. I love the Chiefs and Patriots game last night or 2 nights ago. But yeah, that was a huge upset. I wanted the Chiefs to win for the upset, but I actually did not think they had a chance, but they crushed them.
Yeah, they definitely crushed them, that's for sure. And Tom Brady didn't show up, but Mike Gillislee showed up with 3 touchdowns.
Yeah,
Kareem Hunt showed up with a ton of yardage and a couple touchdowns. So if you have those two guys, definitely keep them or get ready to trade them for maybe a couple better players because eventually they're going to go down. But before we go any further, I got to mention the fact that we are teaming up with DraftingSleepers.com. It's the social network for fantasy sports, guys. This is an awesome website. It's your social network for fantasy sports. They got fantasy football, baseball, basketball, hockey. I think they're going to get into NASCAR and maybe even golf later down the road. But these guys are awesome. DraftingSleepers.com. You're going to find our podcast there. We've already posted a couple of them. But it's great. Right now I'm looking at this guy's asking a question. Do I start Calvin Benjamin or do I bench him when he plays San Francisco this week? I think you start him.
Yeah. He's gonna blow it up. I mean, San Francisco doesn't have a defense yet, so yeah, he's gonna blow it up.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that more later on in our podcast. But DraftingSleepers.com is an awesome website. We're teaming up with them for the rest of this year. And go visit them, sign up. It's free to sign up. It's free to answer questions, put on polls, and listen to our podcast. So go to there. All right, so yeah, back to the Thursday night game, Eli. Because we do our podcast Friday night, Saturday mornings, we don't really get to preview the Thursday night games, but most of the games are horrible anyways because everyone's coming off a busy week and they're not really producing fantasy-wise. But also, we also have our busy schedule, which is why it's been 2 weeks since we haven't done a podcast. 2 weeks ago, we had a family get-together, or drafting day. Drafting weekend, we did like 4 or 5 different drafts, and then last weekend it was Labor Day, so we had family picnics to go to. But guys, it's life. We're busy. We're going to try to pump out as many as we can throughout the season, but I think now that we're coming into school season, we should have a better schedule, and we apologize for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, but we're back, so
we're back and ready to go for week 1. So let's get right into our nines, presented by Pristine Auction. PristineAuction.com is, again, another awesome website where you can find your favorite athletes signing memorabilia, from football helmets to footballs, the jerseys, the cards. They cross over to basketball and baseball and actually movies. And one of our friends bought a piece of coal from the Titanic. So,
whoa, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so they have anything and everything, and it's free to sign up. It's free to bid, and it's a great website, ChristineAuction.com. You visit them, and when you sign up for free, mention our podcast, the Tyler and Eli Fantasy Football Podcast. That would be awesome. So, Eli, we're going to get right into our nines, which is news, injuries, notes, entertainment, and emails and stats. So the first one up is running back Dalvin Cook for the Minnesota Vikings is named the starter over Latavius Murray.
Who's still injured, by the way.
Well, he came back, but I think because of injuries throughout the preseason is why Cook is going to start week 1, maybe even week 2. But you don't sign Murray for a huge contract and set him on the bench.
Yeah.
So I think eventually Murray would get in there, and unless Cook blows it up like Hunt, those rookie running backs could do that. Number 2 is Tyrod Taylor for the Bills is back from concussion protocol. So he is ready to go against those Jets this weekend, and we'll talk more about that later. And then also running back Jonathan Williams was cut by the Bills. Surprise cut. Everyone was surprised by that. But he did sign with the Denver Broncos for the practice squad. I think that's just formality. I think eventually he's going to become the number 2 running back. He's going to. They got Jamar Charles and a couple other guys, which Charles can't stay healthy. And the other guys,
he's getting really, really old.
Yeah, and the other guys are just the other guys. C.J. Anderson, if he's healthy, I think he's the go-to guy. But give Jonathan Williams the ball on the goal line, and he's going to punch it in for you.
Yeah.
What do you got next? Oh, sorry, what were you going to say?
And yeah, he's a great running back to get you touchdowns. As long as he's starting, I I'd see him as a bye week filler.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, he's definitely a good bye week filler. Actually, I was talking to our tight end expert Bill King we had on a couple weeks ago, and last night about Jonathan Williams, and he said he was a fumble happy guy, and he likes to fumble. But I looked it up; he's only fumbled twice. So I trying to make a trade with him. But so Eli, what do you got for number 4 for our Nines?
Willie Snead is suspended for 3 games. That has a huge impact on, well, first of all, him, and also Drew Brees, Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas is going to get so much more catches, and so that has a huge impact on the whole Saints.
Yeah, it even helps Ted Ginn now. I mean, Ted Ginn was the number 3 in the system, but now he's definitely number 2, and he's going to be just flying down the field. It even helps Kobe Fleener a little bit. But yeah, Willie Snead got busted for, I believe, drinking and driving a couple months ago, so they finally caught up to him. But yeah, that hurts him. We have him in our Scott Fishbowl league, so we're kind of scrambling right now. But we have Mike Gillisley, so he got us about 30 points.
Yeah,
so that was nice.
That's good.
All right, next one, Eli.
Brock Osweiler cut by the Browns and signed with Denver again, so he's really going in a circle. First he was with Denver. He did great when Peyton Manning got injured. Then he went to the Texans, and he was terrible. He threw like 20 interceptions or something.
Yeah, he was pretty bad in Houston.
And then he went to the Browns this offseason, and then he got dropped and then signed with Denver again. So maybe it's like his lucky place in Denver.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, he is good. He was good in Denver. That's about it. But I think where they have Trevor Siemian starting, maybe he's going to use him as a backup because I don't think they like Paxton Lynch anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's just a bust for them. So our next one is as you guys probably already know, the Miami-Tampa Bay Buccaneers game is canceled because of the Hurricane Irma. It's been moved to Week 11, so make sure you fit those your bye weeks in. You know, Mike Evans isn't playing, Winston's not playing, Jarvis Landry's not playing, so make sure you make those substitutions right now. Also, Hurricane Harvey, as we heard from down in Houston, we've been praying for you guys in Houston and even in Florida coming up in Louisiana hit with some of the flooding. But J.J. Watt, the defensive end for the Texans, is doing an amazing job raising money, Eli. He started off with a goal of, I think, $100,000, $200,000. And an hour later, it's up to $1 million, and then up like 2 days later, it's up to $5 million, and now it's up almost to 28, if not over $28 million, just in 2 weeks. And I think that's amazing. JJ Watt, you're awesome, and
that's crazy.
even the better, the people who donated is awesome. I mean, he's just the stepping stone, but everyone else who donated, thank you so much. You know, as we say, our thoughts and prayers with those families. From Houston to Louisiana to Florida and some of all the islands down south. But JJ Watt, you're doing awesome. But the big news now is Zeke Elliott is going to be playing for the whole season as of right now, guys.
That's great news for the Zeke owners, but bad news for the non-Zeke owners.
Yeah,
so like the rest. So it's good news for 1, but not for 11.
Exactly, especially for those guys who skipped over, people drafting and skipped over them in the first round. But you had to. I mean, the first report was he was suspended for 6 games, so you're not going to draft him. Then it's, he's going to play only week 1 and miss the rest of the season, so he's still going to draft him maybe second round. But now if you have a draft, you better get him pick number 3 all the way back up to number 3.
But I don't think anyone has a draft because Week 1 has already started. So.
Yeah, there's a couple drafts going on still. Usually, sometimes people will wait for the first week for injuries. They just don't know how to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, Zeke Elliott is back, so get him back in your starting lineups, which means also you wasted a draft pick on Darren McFadden. So go ahead and drop him, pick someone else up. So yeah, just be ready for Zeke, and if you have him, awesome. If you're not, watch out because he's gonna blow it up this year. Yeah. I don't like him. I personally don't like him. I like him as a fantasy player. I don't like him because he's on the Cowboys. Yeah. But he's gonna be blowing it up, and we'll get more into that Cowboy Giants game later. And finally, our second and third email of the year, guys. Thank you so much for emailing. It's awesome. Keep them coming. You can email us at tylerandelifftips@gmail.com. The first one is from Joe from Syracuse, New York. He has a question, Eli. He wants to know if he should start or sit Jonathan Stewart versus the 49ers.
I'd start Jonathan Stewart. I mean, it really depends on what your lineup looks like. But I'd say I'm starting him as a number 2/flex.
Yeah, he's a week 2. Exactly, that's perfect. As a week 2 solid flex because they have a weak running game or weak running defense. I mean, they're going to be running the ball a lot. They're going to be up 30-0, so they have to keep pounding that ball, keeping that clock running. He's that kind of pounding running back. Christian McCaffrey's more of the scat back. I'm going to throw it deep to you.
Yeah.
And his second question was, do I start or sit Amir Abdullah versus the Cardinals?
Amir Abdullah versus the Cardinals. I would not, personally, because the Cardinals, I think, is a good sleeper defense this year. Not like a number 1 defense, but they're going to be pretty darn good this year. So I don't think I would.
Well, hate to break it to you, but we are starting him in one of our leagues, only because that's our number 1 running back. However, though, the Cardinals' defense is good. I think there's a couple of weak spots in there, so he's going to scatter around there. Maybe he's probably going to pick up 100 yards and maybe a touchdown. But
he can catch the ball too, though, so that will help.
Yeah, it would definitely help. If, however, Joe, if you can put him in your flex, I think that would probably be best. I mean, he is a solid 1. I'm sorry, a solid 2. But if you have 2 other guys ahead of him, put him in your flex. Unless for some reason you have a better flex, like say Ted Ginn. I think I go with Ted Ginn because they're playing the Vikings and they're going to throw the ball.
The 49ers.
No, well, the Saints are playing the Vikings.
Saints.
Yeah. And then so Joe, we definitely say start Joe, Jonathan Stewart, and it's your call on Amir Abdullah. Eli says no, not really. I say yeah, go for it, but maybe in your flex.
Yeah.
And our second email, Eli, is Ted from Buffalo. He wants to know, should he trade Calvin Benjamin for Golden Tate? I'm pretty sure he's going to get Golden Tate.
I would not. I like Calvin Benjamin this year, especially for his schedule. He has, for the most part, a pretty easy schedule because the NFC South, they don't have really good defenses. So I wouldn't do that. Because Golden Tate also is the number 2. Calvin Benjamin, he's the number 1. Sorry, but I think Cam Newton likes Calvin Benjamin more than Matthew Stafford likes Golden Tate.
Yeah, I like the breakdown of what you said about the division of the South. Yeah, the defenses are pretty weak this year. Yeah, it's a tough call, Ted. I mean, Tate is the number 1 in Detroit. They like to air it out a lot more than Carolina does. But you also worry about Marvin Jones, Eric Ebron in that running game with Amir Abdullah and Theo Ledrick. But Calvin Benjamin, he's the only really real target, him and Greg Olsen. That's about it. And Christian McCaffrey coming out of the backfield, but he's not on the field every week. So I think your best bet is to keep Calvin Benjamin. And, I'll tell you what, though. He blew up the first 2 weeks last year with like 50, 60 points for the combined 2 weeks. So maybe after week 2, trade him, sell him while he's hot. And then, maybe take Tate and have him turn around too.
Yeah, I like that. I would wait and see, because you can never really predict. Most of the time, predictions are usually always wrong.
Yeah, like all day Friday, I was watching Twitter and everyone's like, "Oh, I can't believe I told you to sit down, Mike Gillislee. I can't believe I told you to sit Kareem Hunt." Well, guess what? Kareem Hunt blew it up, Gillislee blew it up, and now all these people are backtracking and saying sorry. Which, guys, experts are going to make mistakes. We're going to tell you how it is. We're going to tell you what we think. We're not trying to be experts per se, but we don't have graphs and charts for you. But we're going to tell you from the honest truth, sit or start, and that's what we're going to go to right now. Sit start is our main topic this week, week 1, and our sit start main topic is outfitted by the fantasyfootballtshirts.com. Guys, this is another awesome website. Can't say it enough. The websites and the companies that we're teaming up with this year are amazing. Fantasyfootballtshirts.com, making fantasy a reality. These are some of the best t-shirts I've seen out there, Eli. They have cool designs. I'm looking right now at the Antonio Brown one. It says Star WR84
for Star Wars.
And they have Red Zone, which is kind of like a Red Bull, and they have Game of Thrones, which they throws, but that's for Game of Thrones. They have a Snickers one that says Sleepers, and guys, these are awesome. These are awesome t-shirts. They have t-shirts for men. They have t-shirts for women and kids. coffee cups, hoodies. They have a Back to the Future design. They have a Tom Brady GOAT 12 design. Eli, I know you love Tom Brady, so we'll get you that one.
No, not really.
These shirts are awesome. They have Dude, your starters would sit on my bench. So look them up. They're a brand new company, probably about 3 months old now. They take all major credit cards. They have amazing deals. And you can find them at fantasyfootballtshirts.com. And you can find them on Facebook and Twitter. And thank you guys so much for teaming up with us this year for our main event. So let's get right to those main events, Eli. We're going to go through the schedule real quick and tell you to sit or start some of the main players on or for each game. For example, this week the Jets play the Bills. You're not starting anyone from the Jets, are you?
No way, because Quincy Noon was out. I mean, if anything, maybe I would start by Al Powell, but the Buffalo is just going to cram their line. They're going to have a linebacker ready to tackle if he gets through the line.
Yeah.
If he gets through the line.
If you're going to start Powell or Forte, put him in your flex position because that's about all they're worth this week. As far as Buffalo, you're going to start Tyrod. You're going to start McCoy. And Charles, here's a sleeper for you, Charles Clay. If you stream your tight ends, Charles Clay is going to be a good pick this week because they're playing a weak Jets defense.
Yeah.
So that may be a good streamer and tight end. You may want to play the Buffalo's defense. But anyone else, Eli? I mean, we pretty much named all the players.
Yeah, but for Tyrod Taylor, I think if you have Jameis Winston or for some reason Ryan Tannehill starting, then you should definitely, and you have Tyrod Taylor. I wouldn't drop him or anything because they're playing New York, the Jets. So that's a good bye-week filler.
Yeah,
for the first week.
Yeah, Tannehill's hurt, but I think you meant Jay Cutler. But yeah.
Oh yeah, Jay Cutler.
Yeah, definitely put Tyrod in there if you have Winston, who's not playing this week. So that covers the Bills Jets. So that's how we're pretty much going to do it. The rest of the schedule, real quick. Falcons Chicago. Chicago, I think you're pretty much just going to start Jordan Howard.
And that's all.
That's pretty easy. Falcons, as usual, guys. Freeman, Julio, Matt Ryan, Tevin Coleman. Maybe their defense. The defense is getting better this year. I know they get a lot of sacks, so you may want to look at their defense.
Austin Hooper, if you stream tight ends.
Yep, Austin Hooper, that's a good one. All right, Eli, why don't you start off with the Baltimore Bengals?
For Baltimore, you don't want to start too many guys. I mean, you might want to. I would start Danny Woodhead for my flex number 2. That's really all. I mean, there is one other running back.
Yeah, Terrence West there. He's a flex. Flacco, if you need that bye-week filler because of the game suspended or postponed.
Yeah.
You got
Jeremy Maclin.
Number
2 flex.
Yeah, Mike Wallace. But these guys, you can definitely, they're flexing. You're going to flex those guys. Cincinnati, again, it's the usual suspects of Dalton, AJ Green, Tyler Eifert.
Joe Mixon for a number 2 flex.
Yeah, I mean Mixon, he's not the starter, but I bet by week 3 he'll definitely be the starter. I mean, if you're desperate, like I know a couple guys, get Jeremy Hill in there because they're playing Baltimore's defense. He's kind of weak. Gio Bernard, if you have a super deep league, I guess. But go with Green and Dalton and Eifert for now. I mean, until they figure out those running backs in Cincinnati, you're not really going to have. There's no clarity.
Yeah.
Cleveland, Pittsburgh. Cleveland, you're going to start Crow. And
that's all.
And that's about it. Maybe.
Because they're Cleveland.
Yeah, maybe if you have a couple flex positions, like we do in the Scott Fish, you may want to put in Corey Coleman.
Or Terrell Pryor.
Oh, no, Kenny Britt.
Kenny Britt.
But as far as Pittsburgh, again, you get Big Ben, Martavis Bryant.
Definitely not Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell.
No, definitely put those guys on the bench. Brown and Bell, bench them. I mean, they're playing the Browns. The Browns are going to eat them up this week.
No, we're just kidding.
No, definitely get Bell and Brown in there. And actually get Pittsburgh defense in there, too.
Yeah.
If you don't stream defenses, get Pittsburgh's defense because for the first 8 weeks, 9 weeks, they're solid defensive. They're playing weak teams.
Yeah, I have the Pittsburgh defense, and what I'm going to do is up until their bye, they have a really easy schedule. They only play 2 hard teams with good offenses. So what I'm just going to do, when it's their bye at week 9, I'm just going to drop them and pick someone up. And I'm just going to forget about picking them up because after that they play, I think, the Patriots.
The
right
schedule
after
definitely
their
gets
bye.
harder after their bye.
Yeah.
All right, so take Cardinals Detroit.
For the Cardinals, obviously David Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald, maybe John Brown if you have like a couple flex positions. Carson Palmer for a bye week filler if you have James Winston.
Or if you play two quarterbacks, Palmer.
Yeah. And that's really it for Arizona. I mean.
Yeah. All right, take the Lions. Keep going. You're doing
Lions. Matthew Stafford. You're gonna start Golden Tate, Marvin Jones, Amir Abdullah.
Eric Ebron.
Yeah.
You know.
If you stream tight ends.
Yep. If you have Cameron Brate or Julius Thomas, definitely. All right, Jacksonville. You're not starting anyone other than, well, I guess you start Leonard Fournette. They are playing Houston, but that's a tough defense for Leonard Fournette. But maybe put him in a flex position. Allen Robinson, Allen Hurns, you know, because they're going to be losing, so they're going to get a lot of PPR catches there.
Mm-hmm.
Houston, I don't know, Lamar Miller and DeAndre Hopkins, really. That's about it. I mean, Tom Savage isn't really even a bye week filler quarterback yet. There's CJ Fedorowicz if you stream a quarterback. Tight ends, yep. Philly, Washington. This is a lot of firepower right here, guys. You got Carson Wentz, you got Alshon Jeffrey, and Zach Ertz. Running backs, maybe LeGarrette Blount if he goes off like Gillislee. But other than that, they don't know what they're doing in running backs yet. Washington, you're going to go Kirk Cousins. And actually, my brother Kurt loves Kirk Cousins this year. I don't know.
Yeah.
He just thinks that he's going to blow up.
Yeah, but that's what you said last year. He
had better options last year. This year he has Terrell Pryor and a bag full of coal. Terrell Pryor, get him in there. Running backs, maybe super deep league. You want to put Rob Kelly in there. If not, I wouldn't worry about it. Jamison Crowder is dealing with a leg injury, so I don't know if you want to put him in there. Neither defensive, because I think it's going to be like a 55-56 ball game. They're just going to light each other up this year.
Yeah, it's a really good game. It's going to be a really good game.
It is. I'd like to watch that game. It's going to be a slugfest. It's going to be a slugfest / blowout game. So the Rams. Andrew Luck is not playing this week. We should have put that in our nines, but he's not playing this week, so I'm not starting anyone from the Colts.
I would start T.Y. Hilton.
I don't know, man. They don't have a quarterback.
At least the number 2.
Yeah, he would be a 2 flex. Yeah.
Yeah.
Frank Gore, maybe if you need that running back help. Los Angeles Rams, I'm starting Todd Gurley and probably Sammy Watkins.
Yeah,
and that's about it.
Number 2 flex.
Yeah, just this. I mean, the Colts defense is okay, but I don't like.
Well, they're pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't like golf, so I'm not really trusting Robert Woods or Cooper Kupp yet. But I think by the end of the year, I think I'm putting both of them in as a flex.
Really? Even Robert Woods?
I think so. I think he's going to start turning around. I think he's going to be good for 8 to 10 catches every game.
All right, yeah. I mean, because he probably will get a lot of passes, but they have a lot of good receivers now. They have good receivers.
They just don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, unlike last year where they had trash guys like Pharoh Cooper.
Maybe they could sign Brock Osweiler.
Yeah.
Nah, that doesn't help him.
It might.
It'd be an upgrade. It'd be a small upgrade.
Yeah,
all right, the game of the week for Fox is Green Bay and Seattle. Again, this is going to be a slugfest, a firepower, ton of weapons here. You got Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers at your quarterbacks. You're starting Ty Montgomery, Eddie Lacy. Seattle's having problems with the running backs. I'm not sure who's going to start, Lacy, Procise, or Thomas Rawls. So maybe wait on them. Actually, I pulled our Eddie Lacy pick out for Jay Stu. But you could start Lacy and Rawls just to be safe. Procise is like the third down back. Receivers, you got Nelson. You got Adams for Green Bay. Deep leagues, you can put Randall Cobb in there. Seattle, really just Doug Baldwin.
Yeah.
But if I had Doug Baldwin, I'm dropping him right now.
Why?
Green
Bay defense is
terrible. But you know me and Doug Baldwin. Can't stand him. Can't stand Doug Baldwin.
I actually looked at stats from last year. From the year he had 14 touchdowns, he actually had like 200 or 300 more yards than he had in his blow-up year.
He's coming.
He had a bunch more targets and a bunch more catches. Although his touchdowns did go down.
Yeah, we'll see what happens this year. If he stays steady, then I'll get off his back. But if he goes back down, you keep going down like he did the first couple years, then I'm going to be right. But I'm just going to hold steady for this year and see what happens. Take the Panthers 49ers.
All right. I do not agree with 1% of what you just said.
Well, I agree with 100% you just said. Panthers 49ers, let's go.
All right. Starting Cam Newton. Definitely in the 2-quarterback league. Maybe, like, if you have Jameis Winston, then start him.
I'd start Newton. If I had Newton on my team because I'm drafting him, I'd start Newton this week. I mean, they're playing 49ers.
Yeah. If you wait for your quarterback, then yeah, I would start Newton. And there's also Jay Stu, Christian McCaffrey. I'd start try and start both of them, like, for your number 2 and for Christian McCaffrey, and your flex is Jay Stu.
Yeah. Greg Olsen, Calvin Benjamin. That's pretty much it. Maybe Devin Funchess, but really they only have Calvin Benjamin. The 49ers, you have Carlos Hyde and Carlos Hyde. Pierre Garçon for double flexes, but they're gonna have to pass the ball, so he's gonna get a lot of targets. We got Brian Hoyer back there throwing the ball, so I feel bad for Pierre, but Hyde and Vance McDonald got traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers, so that's gonna be awesome for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'd actually, if you stream, I forgot about that. If you stream tight ends, I don't stream tight ends, but if I did, this week, since they're playing the Browns, I probably would start him.
Yeah. So, San Francisco, you're just doing Hyde and Pierre Garçon for the most part. Yeah. And then the best game of the week, I really think is the best game. The Giants and Cowboys, they play every week 1 for the last 5 or 6 years.
On 8:30 NBC.
Yep. In Dallas.
Sunday night.
In Dallas, you got Eli and Dak. You're going to start them both. You got
Paul
Perkins. That's kind of iffy. I mean, Dallas' defense is kind of weak, but he's not that good. Not this year, Perkins, I guess. Maybe he'll turn it around for the regular season.
They did cut some running backs, though.
Yeah, so maybe that helps. You're definitely starting Zeke now. I mean, but you got to watch out. The Giants' defense is good this year. So if he got 100 yards last year, he may only get 88 this year. But you're starting Zeke. I mean, you can't not start Zeke.
I know.
Odell Beckham Jr., he's dealing with a foot injury, ankle injury. But he's starting. They're playing Dallas. They're playing week 1 under the lights. He's going to start. I'm going to tell you this right now. He is playing. I've seen reports he's iffy. He's playing the game.
Yeah.
If they're going to play the Browns, he's not playing. But they're playing the Cowboys against his buddy Des Bryant, who you're going to start. Get both of them in your lineup. Yeah,
and he's going to try and do another Odell Beckham catch, but he's going to fail. Again. Like he did 2 years ago. 2
years ago. But he caught the one 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But start Des, start Odell Beckham, start Brandon Marshall, maybe flex Sterling Shepard. A good streaming tight end this year, I think, after this week is going to be Evan Ingram. Maybe if you have deep leagues, maybe Jason Witten. As far as other Cowboys receivers, not really. I mean, if you got a deep Cole Beasley, because he's going to get you some PPR points.
Not Terrence Williams
at all. And then Monday night that's pretty cool. Monday night we have the Saints and Vikings. You're definitely going to start Drew Brees, Mark Ingram. I would even start Adrian Peterson. I like him this year. I'm trying to trade for him in every league I'm in.
Yeah, and he's playing his own team, so he's going to know their defense.
Exactly.
Because he played there for a while,
I didn't even think about that, and I think that's a good way to even start him because he's gonna have that ambition to get back at them, and he's gonna be hungry, and he's gonna tear that up. I'm actually gonna try to trade for him right now. But yeah, so you start Breeze, Ingram, Peterson, Michael Thomas, maybe Ted Ginn. I'm starting him in one of my leagues because I have like 5 receivers. Minnesota, you're gonna go with Dalvin Cook, Kyle Rudolph.
Yeah, and that's about it.
Maybe Steph Diggs. Well, yeah, Steph Diggs because New Orleans defense is horrible.
Yeah, that's true.
So Steph Diggs and maybe even Adam Thielen in deep leagues. Take the Chargers, Denver.
For Los Angeles, starting Phillip Rivers maybe. Keenan Allen, I'd watch out because they play Denver, so maybe he's a flex.
Yeah, because he's coming off of that injury last year. You're not quite sure how he's
Uh-huh.
going to be. That's a good call. Flex position, Keenan Allen.
There's Melvin Gordon. You have to start.
Yep.
Um,
Hunter Henry.
Hunter Henry. Yeah, maybe Antonio Gates.
Yeah, that's a tough defense to carry to start him.
Yeah, because he's really old. They're just gonna try. They'll probably wait on him to get his like 1,000 catches or something.
All right, he's touchdowns, most touchdowns for a tight end.
Touchdowns. Okay.
All right, then jump to defense. We gotta
right.
speed this up a little. Denver, we gotta speed this up a little bit.
All right, so Denver, there's really no one except C.J. Anderson, Demaryius Thomas, and Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah, you're not starting Trevor Siemian. You're not starting the tight end there. It's not Jake Butt, but it's someone else for right now until Butt gets back. Yeah, and as far as defenses this week, I think the best defense to start overall would be either Pittsburgh and Buffalo and Atlanta. I think those are the three best defenses to start. I'd even start the Rams. You're playing against
I don't know. Their defense is pretty good, but I'd watch their running game. I think their running game for this game is gonna help them win.
Yeah, well, here's the thing though: the Colts have a backup quarterback starting, which means you're gonna load the box up because he's not gonna throw the ball as much. So you're gonna load the box up on Frank Gore. So and then you're gonna stop the passing game because the Colts doesn't have a backup quarterback. I would look into the Rams. You got another day to look into them, but that's not a bad. That'd be a sleeper defense.
Yeah.
Sleeper defense for just this week though. Just this week.
Yeah.
All right, so that's going to do it for our main topic. Week 1 sit starts, and again, that is sponsored and teamed up with FantasyFootballT-shirts.com. Now we're going to end each week with our pick'ems. So we're going to go quickly through each game, say who we're going to think is going to win or lose, and maybe a quick blurb. This week we have a special guest. His name is Logan. It's one of Eli's good buddies, friends from school, soccer, and just in church, and just he's a good friend of ours. We love Logan and his parents. Logan, you are coming on for the podcast for the first time. How is it going, buddy?
It's going good, and I really like talking about football with my friends and really close family, and I just think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. Football is fun. Logan, you're a little nervous, aren't you, buddy?
Yeah.
It's all right. Just speak clear,
Yeah,
speak
that's
loud,
nice.
and we will get through this. Guys, again, we're just a laid-back podcast. We love to have fun. We have guests on. Next week, we're going to have my other 3 sons on. So we're just having fun, family fun. It's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say it's fun? I think it's fun.
I don't think you did.
I don't think I did. All right, so here we go. Quickly, who do you guys going to pick to win? Who do you think is going to win, the Jets or the Bills? Logan, who do you got?
Probably the Bills. They have Tyrod Taylor. He's out of concussion protocol, and Zay Jones. I think he's a big beast to start because they have no other really wide receivers, but they have a really good tight end, and I think that they will dominate New York with their defense and their offense.
I think he nailed it. I
Yeah.
was going to say the exact same thing. Buffalo Bills, we all have them coming down with the win.
Oh yeah.
Crushing them. Eli, Falcons or the Bears?
Definitely the Falcons. I mean, Julio Jones is just going to get 1,000,000 touchdowns, 1,000,000 yards. I think this will be one of his 3 blow-up games.
Yeah, last year he had a game with 300 yards and 1 or 2 touchdowns, and they're setting new records.
Yeah.
Can we put you down for the Falcons too, Logan? Over the Bears?
Sure.
All right, 3 Falcons for the sweep. Here's a tough game, guys. Bengals and Ravens. I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to say the Bengals will beat them. They just have so much firepower on that offense. The Ravens are still injury prone. They're coming out of injuries on both sides of the ball. I'm going to go with the Bengals in this one. Logan, who do you got?
Yeah, probably the Bengals. They have AJ Green, one of the main targets, and they just have a good quarterback, and I think they're gonna beat the other team. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. I picked the Bengals too. They're gonna get a bunch of points, a bunch of fantasy points too. I'd actually start Joe Mixon, like I said earlier, but yeah, they're just gonna dominate them.
All right, we got the Steelers at Cleveland. I think we're just going to quickly, I'll just say Steelers.
Yeah.
All right, we don't have to explain anymore. It's Cleveland, it's the Steelers, so here we go. Cardinals versus the Detroit Lions. I'm going to say the Arizona Cardinals. I think they're just such a tight-knit group there with Palmer, Johnson, and Fitzgerald. And the Lions are still just they just get in their way. So I'm gonna go with Cardinals over the Lions. Logan?
Yeah, I think Arizona is going to beat Detroit with a lot of firepower, and I think Arizona with Johnson is going to be a big deal to that team.
All right, Eli?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Arizona just has a bunch of targets this year, and John Brown's, as of right now, healthy. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and Michael Floyd's gone, but
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't big. He didn't mean any real big things to them.
Yeah.
But they have Fitzgerald, the old man, and Carson Palmer, same with him.
Yep.
But David Johnson, I'm going to go ahead and say I think he's going to get 3 touchdowns like Gillisley.
Nice. That's a good prediction right there. Wow. Eli. Probably 2 running, 1 passing, or 1 catching. I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
2 running.
Like a red zone catch.
Reception, yep.
I think Arizona's defense will probably dominate Detroit.
Yeah, maybe get a pick
Offense.
6. Get a pick 6.
Probably, yeah.
I think you're probably right on that one, too.
I think Matthews going to be a big part of
Oh,
their
yeah.
Yeah,
defense.
Tyrann Matthews.
Yeah.
That's a good pick, Logan. All right, so we got Houston and Jacksonville. Eli, who do you got?
I have Houston winning this game. I think they're in their own stadium,
Yep.
so they're gonna have the home crowd. They have Deshaun Watson, the rookie, but I think Tom Savage
He's a starter.
is starting
Yep.
this game. But I mean, I think Lamar Miller is gonna get close to 100 yards. The Jags defense isn't that good,
It's a solid B. I think it's a
Yeah.
solid B.
Yeah.
but it's not good enough to stop Lamar Miller.
No.
I don't think.
This was really tough. At first, throughout the whole week, I had Jacksonville winning because of that defense, because they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. But I think the motivation and the inspiration and the people coming together in Houston after that hurricane, they're going to just be so fired up. J.J. Watt's going to come out of that tunnel, and it's going to blow the roof off.
Yeah.
I have Houston now. I'm picking Houston now to win this game just based on emotion. The Saints did it after Hurricane Katrina. They came out Monday Night Football and just lit up the Falcons, and so I have Houston winning this game. Logan, who do you got, Houston or Jacksonville?
I personally think Jacksonville will win, but my mom and my dad think that J.J. Watt is going to light everything up.
Yep.
And my little brother has the defense, and in my league for my church, I have their defense too.
All right, so we kind of split there. Next up we have Oakland Raiders and the Tennessee Titans. I have to pick Logan to start first because I'm still deciding.
I think Oakland is going to beat Tennessee. But I also think that Corey Davis will also be a big game changer in this one. And Oakland, they have Amari Cooper, so
It's pretty hard to beat.
yeah, and Michael Crabtree, and they have Derek Carr.
Yep.
So
And actually, we forgot to do that sit start for them. I'm just thinking about that now. So we're just quickly jumping back into that sit start. Oakland, Carr, Lynch, Crabtree, and Cooper. Tennessee, you're going to start Mariota,
Corey Davis.
Corey
Yes,
Davis,
Corey Davis.
Eric Decker, and Delaney Walker, and DeMarco Murray. Eli, you picking who? Tennessee or Oakland?
I'm picking Oakland. I think they're going to win this game by, it's going to be a 28-14-10 game. I think because they have Marshawn Lynch, that's a great new asset that they have. And he's just going to plow right through the Tennessee defense. He's going to run over the defensive line. He's going to run over the middle linebacker. He's going to run over the safeties for a touchdown.
All right.
yeah.
I am torn again between this game. I'm going to go with Tennessee. Oakland's defense, unless they step it up, was horrible in the preseason. So Tennessee, I think, and Mariota's on a mission this year. I think he's back from his leg injury. He's ready to go. I do like Lynch and Carr and Cooper, but they're playing in Tennessee. If this was in Oakland, I'd probably pick Oakland. Eagles, Washington. I'm just going to quickly just burn through some of these guys, but I keep the commentary down. Washington Eagles. I'm going to go with the Eagles.
Yeah, I like that pick. I'm gonna pick the Eagles too because they have a lot better receiving core than Washington.
And a little bit of defense too. That's why I'm going with that.
Yeah, Logan, who's your pick?
If Philadelphia still had LaShawn McCoy, then I would pick them. But I'm right now with Washington.
Washington. All right.
Yeah.
All right. The Indianapolis Colts against the LA Rams. I'm going to go with the Rams. I think their defense is going to shut down the Colts. Gurley's going to run all over them. Unfortunately, Goff can't throw the ball, or starting to learn how to throw the ball again. But just the Colts quarterback scares me, so I'm going to go with the Rams.
Yeah, it's really a hard pick.
Yeah, it is.
I like the Rams in this one. They're in their own stadium, and so it's going to be a good game though. It really will.
I think Los Angeles will
Yeah.
All right, so it's a
dominate.
sweep. Yeah, the Rams, we all picking the Rams. The game of the week for Fox is the Seahawks and Green Bay Packers. This is a tough game, I think, for all of us to pick.
Mhm.
It could go either way, so I think it's going to end up in a tie. No. No, I'm not picking a tie. I'm going to pick Green Bay only because they're in Green Bay. Their defense is not that great, but it's in Green Bay. If it was in Seattle, I'd say Seattle. But I'm going to go with Green Bay.
I probably pick Seattle.
Okay.
Because Wilson.
Wilson, they got a pretty good defense, too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm going to pick Seattle because of their defense.
Yep.
If Green Bay had even like a rank of the Falcons defense, I would pick Green Bay because they're in Lambeau. But I have Seattle winning this. They're just they have better running backs because Green Bay has like 5. They have like only 3. So yeah, I'm picking Seattle.
All right.
If Green Bay had a really good defense, then I would probably pick Green Bay, but they don't have the best defense, and I just think that Seattle's gonna dominate.
All right.
Yeah.
So we got 2 for Seattle, 1 for Green Bay. Next up is the Panthers and 49ers. I think we all can say right now, Panthers. All right. If the Buccaneers and Miami were playing, I think we all would have picked the Buccaneers. For Monday night, we got the Saints and Vikings. I think we're all going to pick Saints. They're just a better offense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that one. Don't you worry about that. We'll save the best game for last.
Yeah.
We got the Chargers and Broncos. Good catch though. Chargers and Broncos Monday night, second game. I'm going to go with the Chargers. I think just because of their Denver's running quarterback game isn't the best. I think the Chargers are going to come out throwing the ball as they did last year. I like Gordon this year. The defense, I think, is a great defense. They're going to come on so strong this year with Chris Bosa, I think his last name is,
tight end?
No, they're the defensive lineman. They have he's a
yeah.
second-year guy, Bosa. I think it's Bosa.
Yeah.
Either way, their defense is coming on strong. Not up there with Denver yet, but Denver's problem is their passing game. So, Eli, who do you got, Chargers or Broncos? Quickly.
I think Broncos because of their defense.
All right.
I'm going for the upset.
Going for the upset. Logan, who do you got?
I love Denver, and I just really like their defense.
All right. The defenses will determine who wins, I think. I like the Chargers. You guys like Denver. And Eli reminded me, and I knew I skipped it, the Giants and Cowboys. I will let Eli answer first.
I think, unfortunately,
Say
the
it.
Giants
Say
win.
it. Yeah, buddy.
I don't like the Giants.
But
But I don't like the Cowboys.
you respect
even
a
more.
good team. You respect good teams. You respect the good
Not
defense
really
they
the
have.
Giants,
The awesome quarterback, 2-time winning Super Bowl champion Eli
Yeah,
Manning.
Ben Roethlisberger's won 3.
He's
so
won 2.
3. Aw.
Yeah,
Still,
but
though, he's had
Eli was the number 1 pick that year. You're named after him. I know you love secretly deep down you love the Giants.
No, I don't.
All right, so
I like players on the Giants,
Yeah,
but not the Giants.
all right, so Eli, you're picking the Giants.
Yeah, unfortunately.
All right,
but
well-
it's going to be a close game.
Yep, it always is a close game between these two guys. Usually the Giants always pull it out though, usually by a field goal. Logan,
Yeah.
who do you got, Logan?
I think I really like New York, and New York I think is gonna beat Dallas by at least a touchdown or a field goal because Eli Manning will at least throw at least four touchdowns at least.
Well, he's got 4 weapons there.
Yeah.
One to Odell, Marshall, Sterling, and Ingram. There you go.
Oh, not Marvin Ingram.
Evan Ingram.
Yeah,
Yep.
Evan Ingram.
Yep, I like that. 4 times.
And
And, and he'll run one in too.
Yeah, and we all know who you gonna pick. The Cowboys.
The Cowboys is not who I'm picking. I'm picking the Giants. Not just because I like the Giants, but because their defense is amazing this year. Well, it's good. It's good this year. They just got so many fire. They got so much weaponry on the offensive side of the ball. The running game's weak, but you're gonna throw the ball 600 times this year, Eli. 700 times this year. You're gonna.
am?
Yes, you are. You're gonna actually get to that game today. We're flying you down and throw 7 touchdowns tonight. But no, I'm gonna go with the Giants because of just the better defense overall. I think the headache from the Zeke thing is just gonna be all over them this weekend. If this game was like 3 weeks, maybe I'd pick a little different, but I'm going to go with the Giants. So that does it this week, guys. Yo, Logan's got one more thing. Whoa. He's already taken over. This is his first week on ever, and he's taking over the podcast, Eli.
That's okay.
All right.
I just want to point one thing out, that New York has a pretty good defense.
They do.
Yeah.
Yep. They do.
They're a good sleeper defense.
They are a good sleeper defense. And that, again, this wraps it up for us this week. We went a little longer than normal, but we have to get back in the swing of things. You can find us at YouTube. The podcast is on YouTube. The Tyler and Eli Fantasy Football Tips podcast. You can email us at tylerandelifftips.com. Find us on Twitter at Tyler Belawski. That's TYLER BELAWSKE. You can also find us on DraftingSleepers.com. Again, this is the social network for fantasy sports. It's an awesome website. As soon as we get done, we're going to load the podcast up there. Great guys over there. They contacted us. We said, yes, let's do it. Let's team up this year. Thank you again for PristineAuction.com for sponsoring our nines. We love you guys over there. We find amazing deals every week. Every day. They have daily auctions. And it's free to bid. It's free to sign up. If you lose, you don't pay anything, unlike some sites. And we thank FantasyFootballT-shirts.com for sponsoring and hooking us up with our main topic every week. So that's going to do it for us. Logan, thank you for joining us. Do you have anything else you want to say before we kick you out?
Why are you kicking me out?
Because we're done with the podcast.
Okay.
You got anything else you want to add for this week?
Nope.
He's all set. Eli, you got anything?
That's how I usually end the podcast, but not today. Week 1 is there's a lot of the good teams. I noticed this a couple weeks ago. A lot of the good teams are playing really bad defenses. So if you have Julio Jones, he's going to blow it up. If you have,
Brown, he's going to blow it up.
Yeah. Well, he's going to blow it up either way.
Yeah.
But, I mean, still, if you have David Johnson, he's going to blow it up. They play Detroit. So I think it's going to be a really good week for fantasy this year. This week.
Yeah, we have one of our friends. He already has 75 points out of 3 guys.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt,
Mike Gillislee,
and Tom Brady. So he's at 75 points out of those guys. He's crushing it already.
Yeah, but he's still projected to win only by 5 points.
Yeah, I mean, projections are always wrong. So
yeah, he's
Eli,
going to win by 25.
All right, Logan. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Eli, that's a better closing thought from you. You're getting better at it, buddy. My closing thought is it's week 1. Woo!
Yay!
All right, guys. Thank you for listening. See ya.
Bye.